We're live. Woohoo!
We are just doing some settings here. Let's see, built-in microphone. USB capture. We're trying a few different things here, everybody. It's been a while. We are trying to go live on a couple of different websites at once. Click here to view the post on Restream dial. Okay, well, let's see. Let's see Restream. Look at this. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, maybe the Facebook business page. I don't know. We're gonna find out. Also LinkedIn.
Ooh, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Andrew, how'd you manage that? Because not everyone can go live on LinkedIn.
Well, let me tell you, it was a long and arduous process.
Okay.
Many valleys, many peaks, many hills. I'm still just trying to find where we are on the various things. This is not our first time going live, but it's our first time going live on more than one social media platform. Why would you want to go live on more than one social media platform? Some people are here, some people are there. What do you say?
Some people are everywhere.
That's true. So if you can hear us, we would love it if you would say hello in the comments on whatever platform you're on. We'd love it if you said hi. Give us a little hello.
Did you announce we were going live?
Well,
Anywhere?
I did on Facebook, and Emily Elliott liked it. Thanks, Emily.
So this is a sneak attack.
This is a sneak attack. We didn't really tell anybody. What I'm curious about is, oh, there's Asta. Asta's here.
Woohoo!
Wait, does that mean Asta's here? No, Asta liked one of my other posts. Thanks, Asta. Oh, there. Okay. So Dylan.
Dylan, hello.
Hey, Dylan. Hi from South Africa. Wait, hi to South Africa. We're not from South Africa. We're from Toronto.
Hi, Julie.
Julie's here. Mark Cooper. Hey, Mark. How are you? This is a lot of fun. So these comments are showing up in the LinkedIn window, but what I was hoping they would show up on is right there. How come they're not showing up there? I think we have to do some settings.
So we're
here.
learning about LinkedIn, going live LinkedIn.
This is the first time we've gone live on LinkedIn.
Yeah, it's a bit of a process. You have to apply,
You
and
do.
you have to meet some specifications. I think they just don't want any old nonsense on
Well, they
there.
don't want a bunch of yahoos going live.
How did we get in?
How do we make it pass? Well, we told them. Okay, so let me tell you the truth about applying for LinkedIn Live.
Yeah.
I applied 4 times, and on the 4th time they let me through. A few of my friends, one of them, Matthew Hunt, has been on LinkedIn Live for well over a year, and he told me he had to apply several times, and it took 2 or 3 months. I think I applied right in maybe March when COVID first started happening,
Wow.
and
So if you guys are thinking of trying to apply for LinkedIn Live, do it 3 months ago. Or do it today.
that's right.
It's like investing in real estate. When's the best time to invest in real estate?
Well, in Toronto, it was probably 2008 because of the market crash.
No. Or today.
Or today. Dylan is here. This is the first time I've enjoyed a live video on LinkedIn. Well, hey, Dylan.
Dylan, do you have any questions for us?
I have a question for Dylan. How the heck are you? It's been a year. It's been over a year since we've seen Dylan. Dylan, I believe, if I'm right about this, Dylan's running an ad agency in South Africa.
Do you want to give everyone your South African accent?
No, no, that would not be well
Not a
received.
good one?
No, it's not very good. It's not very good at all.
So why would people want to go live on LinkedIn, Andrew?
Well, I think there's a few different reasons. So we've built a little bit of a community on LinkedIn. I'm spending a lot of time on LinkedIn lately. We truthfully don't have really any community on YouTube. Facebook, obviously, we've got a personal and a business page on Facebook. LinkedIn's where I spend most of my time. I found a long time ago that people didn't like it when you just blabbed about your business on Facebook. They would be like, "Hey, this is for family and friends. Don't bother me with your video nonsense." LinkedIn seems to be a little more receptive to business type stuff, so that's where I hang out more. You don't really hang out on LinkedIn too much.
I don't hang out on social pretty much at all.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, when I do, it's Dos Equis and LinkedIn and Facebook.
Right. Very good.
I don't really do much else. But
So-
I'm a bit behind the times. I'm not your typical consumer in that way.
So Dylan says he wishes that we could fly. We wish we could fly you guys to South Africa.
Oh,
That's
love
better.
that.
I mean, I want to fly to South Africa on our own. You flying us, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is quarantining. We would have to stay probably in a 5-star resort or hotel, probably a 6-star, Dylan, at your expense, for 14 days before even starting to do work. So if you could work on that, that'd be great.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a fintech company that Dylan's working with, so I think this is a no-brainer. We also have people on YouTube here. Let's see what we have here on YouTube. This is funny. I'm looking at it here. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm looking at our live stream on my phone. I'm also looking at it on the computer. This is something new for us, guys. I hope you don't mind us working it out together.
Well, I think it's fine if it's rough as long as we're adding value, and I
Right.
think the value that you can offer is just explaining to people how the process of applying to go live on LinkedIn works,
Right.
the benefit of it, any tips and tricks.
Well, the tips and tricks, I don't even have any tips. I don't know why they finally accepted me, but I did say that we were going to talk about some tips about video production and working from home. A lot of people have seen our work from home series. We've actually been incredibly surprised at how many people have seen that series. And we're still getting emails probably at least once a week now. It's slowed down. It used to be every hour. But people have been working from home now for 8 months now.
Yeah.
6, 7, 8 months, whatever
Yeah.
it is. That's not to say people haven't been working from home before that. But when COVID first hit, we decided, okay, people are going to be working from home a lot more than before. So let's share some advice on what we can do to help people just level up their game. And I've been impressed. Eric Jansen is a friend of ours. He's a professor at Richard Ivey School. Eric asked for some help leveling up his work from home studio, and he's done an incredible job. You know who else is Peter Katz?
Yeah.
Our friend Peter Katz.
And Peter Katz is going live all the time.
Yeah. I would say he's actually got to teach us some stuff now, because
Yes.
he surpassed the knowledge we gave him, and he's got an incredible setup now.
Yeah, and he hosts all these like little events and things like that, and little concerts, all live over the internet.
That's exactly it. Mark says it's great that you're learning for us. 100%. I promise you this will be a lot more concise once we figure out how this is all working. And the best place to hang out. Mallory says, I like the pink backdrop.
Thanks, Mallory.
Mallory, we like you.
Mallory, you had a lot to do with it, so
Yeah,
thank you for
it's
the
true.
pink backdrop.
Is this carnation?
It is carnation pink of
Do you-
your standard. I think it's Roscoe.
It's a Roscoe paper roll.
It's like if you're in Canada, if you walk into any Henry's or Vistec or whatever, it's their standard selection.
They got a relatively standard section.
Yeah.
Emily, why have we got a pink backdrop today?
Oh, we were testing the color
Mm-hmm.
for an upcoming project we're doing in the studio for a new client of ours that we're very excited about.
Now, you mentioned studio, like I should know about it. I probably do know about it. But what about if you're someone like Mark Cooper, for example?
Well, Mark Cooper, have you heard about our studio?
I don't
We're
know.
in it now. This is it.
Welcome to the studio.
Yeah.
What the studio is a brand new offering from Stature. We built it over the last couple months. We went live, Emily and I did, I think back in May or June on Facebook. We didn't go live here. This is our first LinkedIn live. I should say here because there are probably some people on Facebook. Oh, geez, this is so fun. We are streaming to LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and 2 Facebooks. We're streaming to 2 Facebooks.
2 Facebooks. How does that work?
Well, okay, first of all, we've got a program called Ecamm Live. Ecamm Live, a lot of things you can do with it. We put our logo. Can you see our logo on the top? It's above my head. It's right there. That's from Ecamm. And then
You
we're
put text
using
on screen.
You put text on screen. You put graphics. We're also using a platform called Restream. So Ecamm and Restream are partners.
Would you like to say what Ecamm is? Because it's not the only software in its category.
Sure.
Because some people watching are smart and technical and have researched
Yeah.
different ways of doing this and
Sure.
probably appreciate
So,
you getting a little more specific.
Sure. So Ecamm is a Mac-only software. I understand that there's a lot of PC people out there. There's a open source program called OBS. Now, I don't have any experience with OBS, but what I understand to be true is that Ecamm is using a part of OBS in order to do what it's trying to do. But basically, it's Ecamm is a monthly or a yearly service that allows you to take your cameras. We have multiple cameras in the studio here, but for the purpose of this, we only have one camera set up. So if we had multiple cameras, we could just with the press of a button, actually press the button over here, we could change our camera angles, we could bring up graphics, do a lot of interesting things. So that's what Ecamm does. Restream takes the feed from Ecamm and distributes it to as many different social media platforms as you have, with the exception of Instagram. You can't go from here to Instagram legally yet. There's a workaround that's against Instagram's terms of services, and we didn't want to do that. So we didn't
don't like
that.
breaking too many rules.
No, I mean, we'll bend, but we won't. We won't break. Dylan says, I'm sure your very relevant videos for work from home have been a good push for the live video acceptance. Well done. Well, Dylan, I hope you got something out of them. It's very, very kind of you.
Does anyone have any follow-up questions about work from home? Is there anything we didn't cover that you're like, man, if only I had a solution for this?
Yeah.
Feel
free to pop your questions in the comments, because we want to talk to you. We want this to be a conversation. What do we got here? Over on Facebook, we got Lauralee, we got Cody, and we got Vince. You two are cooler than my freezer, Vince says.
See, now I've always said Lorelei. Is it Lauralee?
Is it Lorelei? We should really know this. Where's Mallory when you need her? Mallory, help! I think it's Lauralee.
And I think it's Lorelei.
Lauralee, Sorely. It's not Sorlei.
We'll find out. But we appreciate you watching.
We do need to know this, though.
Mm-hmm.
We should talk about Mallory. Some of you don't know that we have a fourth part of the team on Stature Films now. Do you want to cue us up, Emily?
I think you should, because I talk about Mallory all the time. I wanted you to give an opportunity.
Okay. Well, we have a fourth person on the team now, full time. Now, for those of you who've worked with us before, you know that we have a massive team. We have a big family of people that work with us on projects. But in terms of the core team, for the past 5 years, it's been Emily, JD, and myself. And we decided to bring Mallory on this year. Now, yes. Mallory actually started with us as a teenage laborer.
Yeah, summer student.
I think she was 13 or 14.
Way back in the day.
Way back when.
And then I was doing some payroll stuff, and I found some records from 2016 when we had her again as a student come in and just do some like admin stuff. Because the interesting thing about Mallory, this turned out to be the greatest thing for us,
right,
is that Mallory has not really any background in film and video. And why that's great for us is that she...
Yeah, where are you going with this?
She is super smart in all the things that make a business better.
Right. I concur.
That are not, that are not lighting and cameras and things like that. Because we focus on that stuff a lot. But the things that she's really smart about and she helps us out with are things like putting proposals together and research and design thinking and education, course creation, and just really smart people stuff.
Plus, in her first week, she already gave me sass. And I was thinking to myself, it's your first week, kiddo. What are you doing? But then I realized, hang on, she's got some wit.
Yes.
Things on her feet. Confident. Those are all good qualities.
Those are great qualities.
We're a big fan of Mallory. Big fan of JD. We miss JD. We miss Mallory. Both working from home right now. Hope
being
everything.
Safe.
Yeah, everyone's
being safe.
Yep. Okay, so let's see. We got some comments here.
Let's go back to LinkedIn.
Let's go back to the LinkedIn comments here.
So the other thing we're starting to work on, which you can send us questions about if you're interested, is we're building a course about working together as husband and wife and
Yep.
running a business together and being partners. Because when people find that out about us, we get a lot of reaction. We get a lot of like, how do you do it? Why don't, like, how do
Yeah.
you make it work? How have you not killed each other yet? And that's actually my working title for the course is I haven't killed him yet. And Andrew hates that title.
I don't love it. I don't love that one.
But yeah, so we're working on that course because unless you've been living under a rock, which we sort of were. We were living under our duvets for a good part of March.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the world is moving forward and putting more and more emphasis on having online course content, because who knows when the next time we're going to be able to get together in a boardroom or a conference center and
Right.
learn together in a big group. So, you know, online content and online courses have already been a big thing, and smart people have been into that for a long time. And now the less smart people like us are getting our butts in gear and getting into it. And similar to going live, Andrew, when's the best time to start working on creating your own course?
Well, the best time to start creating your course is probably in 2008 during the market crash.
Or today.
Or today. Now, hang on. I want to come back to this, but I just found another place where we were streaming, and I had it minimized. Okay, so your mom is here. Hi, Mom.
Aw.
Wally
Hi.
Shaw. You know who's great is Wally Shaw.
He's so great.
Love that guy.
And I love his new logo, Wally, and I was going to ask you on Facebook for more details about your logo and who created it for you, because it's fantastic.
I think I've seen it, but I want to see it again.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Nat Karan. Hey, Nat. It's been way too long. When was the last time we saw Nat?
Oh, ages ago.
2011, I think. Hey, Nat. How are you?
Nat says our lighting is gorgeous, Nat.
Thank you, Nat.
We
That's
think you are
very kind of
gorgeous.
you. Well, yeah. I didn't want to say that because, you know, I can say you're gorgeous.
Yes, you can.
You can say other people are gorgeous.
Yes.
I think I can't.
That's correct.
I could say, hey, Nat, great personality.
That's correct. That is
Right.
what you're. Yes. See,
Speaking
we're already
of-
teaching you things about.
We're already teaching you about how to run a business together as a married couple. Victor Pereira is here. I love Victor. Victor
Perfect
is,
title? Yeah, we think
Thank
so.
you, Victor.
And the thing is, you know, I think when we get that reaction of like, how do you work together and run a company together, and you're married, I don't know that it's that much different than any other couple out there that like tries to build a deck over a weekend or is raising kids together. Like, it's just those tools about communication
Yep.
that are super important, knowing how to fight properly. Well, I don't want to give all our topics away.
Yeah.
You have to sign up for our course when it's done. But yeah, so
Dylan says, question answered. How do you even do that? I don't know what that was about, Dylan. There's a small delay. Here's the thing. First
Yeah.
of all, you're on the other side of the world.
but
What time is it for you, by the way? I don't even know what time it is in South Africa. I'm going to Google that. Can you entertain the people at home while I Google what time it is
Yeah.
in South Africa?
So when you go live, which many of you have probably already experienced, what's happening in the studio?
Oh,
and
it's not that bad. It's 11 o'clock. I thought it was like 2 in the morning.
still
Sorry,
early.
I interrupted.
When you go live, there's a delay. So the stuff we're talking about takes, 30 seconds before it shows up online.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a real-time feedback with question and answer. So that's one thing to consider when you're going live. If you want like immediate feedback from people, you have to wait. So maybe build your structure as like, okay, put your questions up, and in a couple minutes we'll answer all the questions that
Right.
come in,
Right.
that kind of thing. So we don't know what Dylan's question was and how we answered it, but we're glad we did.
Yeah. Back to Facebook, Blake Fleischacker. Now, Blake's been going live online every day. Did he start in January, or when did he start?
I don't know. I think he's
Started a
in
while
day
ago.
like 200.
Blake is
I've
Blake
lost
is a
count.
close friend of ours, and he is doing really great work.
Yeah.
Definitely a daily inspiration to all of us. So, Blake, thanks for what you do. Laz is here. You're both smart. Stop it. Well, listen.
We are smart. I'm not saying we're not smart, but being good business owners, it's important to recognize and hire people that are even smarter than
When you
than
meet
yourself.
Mallory Laz, you'll understand what we mean.
Yeah.
It's like we're like here, and then she's
And it's good to build your team with people who are smart in different ways than you're smart, so you can
Very true.
complement each other.
Very true. Very true. Okay, we still need to figure out the Laura Lee versus Lorelei thing.
We'll find
What
out.
was your thought? Your thought was Lorelei?
Lorelei. I think just because that's like a character from TV that I just assumed.
Is she here or is she gone?
I don't know.
Matt Bloom's here. Can't stay long. You know what, Matt? I can't. I was going to say something mean, but I'm not going to. We miss you, Matt. We miss Jenny and your offspring. Okay. Let's talk about what's the biggest challenge, Emily, that you have working with me as your business partner?
Are we talking about this?
Yeah,
I
let's
thought we were
talk
talking
about
about going live.
Let's talk about it.
Well, the big current that runs under any problem we have is that we are a couple, so that stuff like that's personal stuff, that's family stuff that would normally stay at home doesn't stay at home. It comes into the business. So maybe I'm annoyed about something that happened that morning at home.
What could you possibly be annoyed at? I'm perfect.
Yeah. So then, it spills into a conversation at work, and that is really a lot of the work we've done over the last 12 years of running a business and being married, is to, I don't want to say draw boundaries, because I think it's actually detrimental to put up walls and say, like, okay, this is our home life and this is our work life, and they'll never overlap, because I think you're missing opportunity to work out issues or come to understandings that could happen at work or at home if you just sort of flip a switch and say, okay, I'm just going to ignore what happened this morning and act a different way around you at work. So it's kind of a complicated answer. I think it's like the whole course is basically about that.
Right.
About blending the two things.
We do get asked a lot, if you'll excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
We do get asked a lot, how do you guys do it? How do you guys run the business and stay married? And the more we thought about it, I mean, you know what, maybe we actually need to pause and realize that we have accomplished something pretty unique. But there are tons of people, speaking of Nat, I'm pretty sure Nat and Brent work together. I don't know what Brent's doing if he's not full-time in that.
Yeah, answer us if you can, Nat.
Nat, are you still there?
Do you and Brent still work together?
Right. There are a lot of people who run their business with either their spouse or a business partner. Now, there are a lot of people who will talk about business partnerships. I'm not talking about a couple. I'm talking about just two business partners. And we can absolutely talk about business partners.
Yeah, or family businesses.
And there's family businesses.
Like if you work with your sibling
That's
or
right.
your parents. I was trying to compare our current, sort of work setup, our dynamic, to places I worked before we started the business, and I realized the two long-term jobs I had after graduation, like that weren't working at the mall, weren't summer jobs. The two like proper jobs I had before starting this business with Andrew. One was for a family business. It was like the son and the mom and his mother-in-law all worked in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that was a family-run business where the husband and wife worked together, and they had taken over the business from their parents, so their parents would show up. So I actually only have experience working and watching how families can interact when they own a business together.
Right.
But you had a nice, normal corporate job.
Yeah, I did.
Where people weren't related to each other.
Yeah. Now listen, and your job was probably good. You probably learned in a short period of time.
Yeah.
A couple of things.
Yeah, sure.
John Morton. Love John Morton.
Yeah, it was definitely a good primer in knowing that people will perceive you differently if they know you're married or they know your family. They kind of almost like try to tune in, because that's what I did, right? And that's what I think a lot of my colleagues did, is you kind of tune into what's going on, or try and like read into things, or imagine that the answer behind maybe a problem that's arisen is like, oh, well, they must be mad at each other. They must be blah, blah, blah. Language that wouldn't be used if the owner of a company and their business partner were having a hard time communicating about something, and they weren't family and they weren't related, people wouldn't read into it, you know, oh, they must be fighting, they must be mad at each other, they must be, you know, whatever, someone got up on the wrong side of the bed. You'd give them a little more credit that they were a bit more professional. So I just learned from that to notice that, and going into having a business and being married, to be more aware of the scrutiny we would be under, if that makes sense.
Do you want to talk about the stapler, though?
Is John online? Maybe I will dish some. There's
some
dirt.
There's some dirt.
There's drama I can dish about all of my jobs, but maybe I'll do it in another time. Maybe I'll just do it in the course, because then it's kind of private and offline. And I will not give people's names to respect their privacy.
Well, you did just say one name. I kept it neutral at the stapler. Let's hope he's not watching. Okay. All we've said is the stapler. We are not in trouble. Everyone.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
I think family-run businesses get a raw deal and get a stigma of being less professional, which I don't think is necessarily the case.
Yeah. Not only have we been married, now next week, October the 12th, on Monday, Emily and I are going to be celebrating our 13th
wedding anniversary.
Now,
we're not doing anything. Well, not that we're not doing anything for it, but you know, COVID being what it is, it's really restricted.
We usually try and go away.
Yeah, we try and have a vacation.
On our 10th anniversary, we went to Europe, which was an amazing trip.
Or we try and go to a spa or something.
Something like that.
Everything being closed.
Can't really do anything trip-wise right now, so we're gonna do a staycation.
If anyone has fun tips or trips,
Mallory says it's Laura Lee. That was what I said. I said Laura Lee.
I've been getting it wrong this whole time, and I'm very sorry.
I would like some props. Mallory, you can give me some props. Thank you. By the way,
moving on.
Yeah. By the way, I would like to ask, how's everyone doing? I did that on our last our last live stream.
Yeah. It's
been a couple months since we went live. How's everyone doing? How's everyone holding up? How are our headspaces and our mental wellness right now?
I'll share with you.
Yeah.
I feel like just a tiny bit more bummed out these days, and it's just the weather. It's just that natural, like, it's getting darker earlier. It's darker when you wake up. Like, it's just that harder to feel excited about getting up and going out and doing stuff, because there's not many things we can replace our activities with. At least in the summer, we could get out and do stuff, go to the park, go for a walk, go on a bike ride, and now that it's getting colder and darker, and everything's still closed, and we're still self-isolating and things like that. It's like, oh, we have to do this for another few months.
Right.
That's how I'm feeling. It's
interesting because normally there's a lot of Canadian snowbirds going to Florida, and none of those people are going to be going to Florida. I don't think they're Are the snowbirds going to go to Florida?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know any.
Like, I'm thinking Val and Dave, their parents go to Florida. They're snowbirds. Snowbirds. Jacob Waxman is here. Hey, Jake.
Hello, Jacob.
You know, big fan of Jacob Waxman here at Stature Films. Part of the audio process crew. Love all those guys. Jacob is in addition to being a terrific audio engineer, I would say world class. Jacob is an artist, musical composer. He makes sick beats. That's how the kids say it.
Laszlo said, kindness, humbleness is everything when it comes to partnerships.
Oh, yeah, Laz.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like how you put that. Let's talk about the Blue Jays' first round exit. We're not going to get into sports right now, Jake, but I'll call you. That was...
heartbreaking?
It wasn't heartbreaking. I wasn't emotionally involved.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if anyone else was. I mean, I watched the games. Mitchell Stern and I would text each other. Mitch from Station Cold Brew. Mitch is a diehard Jays fan. I have periods in my life. I'm a lifelong diehard Jays fan, but I really did not want anyone to play baseball this year. I know they wanted to entertain us. I know they had contracts to fulfill. I know they were trying to figure their stuff out. But I really didn't want any of the athletes to play, primarily because I didn't want them to get sick, or any of the staff to get sick. Now, we didn't have any professional athletes die this year that I know of. That's nothing to celebrate because a lot of other people lost their lives. But I wasn't a fan of the sports starting back up. So therefore, when the Jays made the playoffs, it wasn't the same rush as we saw in 2015. Bat flip and sellout stadiums. It wasn't the same for me. So I didn't really care.
Are we going to talk about sports?
Nathan's talking about sick beads. He's enjoying the.
Don't forget to check on LinkedIn, people.
I gotta check on LinkedIn. Paul Steinberg, sick beats.
Yeah, Laszlo, you're talking about humbleness. I think that's super important, mixed with a fair amount of boldness.
Yep.
I think humbleness and boldness pair well together.
I agree with that.
Especially if you're, you got to know your personalities. What's the personality of the other person? Maybe one person is more vocal and more client-facing, and so they kind of get the attention as being like the voice and the face of the company, and the other person is maybe more in the background, doing a lot more behind-the-scenes stuff, doing more, operations type things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think for that person that's more operations behind the scene, as long as the person that's more client-facing and outgoing gives a little nod, a little credit, a little recognition that it is a 50-50 partnership, then the behind-the-scenes person feels very valued.
Speaking of feeling very valued, I would like to just take this moment to say you look really great.
Thank you. You look really great.
Emily went and got her hair done. So did I. We wanted to look good for you guys.
It was hairdo day.
Yep. So I think we're gonna wrap up.
Okay.
Do you have any words of wisdom for the day?
Well, I think if people are considering going live, stop considering it and just do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do a couple tests like we're doing, just test it out, test the waters.
Test it out, see how it is.
See what kind of reactions you get. Maybe we can have Blake come on as a special guest of a person we know that goes live every single day. No excuses. That's the thing. We come up with a lot of excuses not to do it.
Real quick, Jake wanted you to talk about the Blue Jays, not me.
Oh, I have nothing to add about the Blue Jays. I'm so sorry. I've been very tuned out. Because it's not. Maybe because it's not everywhere, right? Like, when the city's opened up and it's everywhere, like you go for dinner at a restaurant and it's playing on the TV, or you're like walking by the stadium and you see all the fans going in for the game, you get more involved with what the sports teams are doing in the city. And now that everything's kind of like closed off and behind gates and walls and being all done somewhere else in a very safe manner, I'm not judging that, but it's harder for me to get involved as kind of a tertiary fan.
Right. Okay, well, guys, we're going to leave you. This has been fun. We're going to do this a little more often, and just want to say thanks for spending some time with us.
So I would say goodbye, Facebook fans.
Goodbye, Facebook. Goodbye, LinkedIn.
What's happening on LinkedIn? Any other questions?
I think that everyone has learned what they need to learn here. It is Laura Lee. It's now going to be 10 after 11 in South Africa. PM.
Nice. PM. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in.
So,
Dylan, Mark, thanks for saying hi.
As I like to say,
Mallory, thanks for saying hi.
At the end of every meeting conversation.
What do you want to say?
The take-homes, the follow-ups. The follow-up being, if you have any questions, technical or otherwise, about going live, about making a little studio in your space so you can go live, or record things to put out to communicate with your audience, ask us.
Yep.
We're on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. You can message us.
Absolutely.
And we will try and answer them.
Next week, I think we're going to talk about the studio. Why don't we do this once a week for the next little while? I don't want to go daily. I don't want to like fill people's inboxes with too much of us.
Yeah, we really don't have that much to say.
The right amount of us is just enough.
Just the,
No.
just
No.
Just
Okay,
a little
everyone.
bit.
All right. I think we are going to say have a good evening.
Yeah, have a good evening. Safe travels, even if that's just going from your spare room to your fridge.
Safe travels to the fridge.
Safe
Don't
commuting.
trip. Don't trip on anything.
Mm-mm.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.